I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you may want to consider the 2026 BMW M440i in black sapphire metallic over Takara red perforated interior. Last year, we got upgrades to the 48-volt mild hybrid system, which increased performance, and a reworked suspension with some touches from the CSL on a $70,000+ car. So then the question comes into play, is it worth it? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and we're gonna go over the pros and cons to reveal the 3 reasons why you may want to consider this, and if it's worth it. Starting with 5 inches of clearance. Now, normally a sports sedan is gonna be more so to the 4.5 inches, especially if you bump it up into an M4, but then the price also escalates quite a bit, but you're also getting a lot more performance. Last year, we got these upgraded laser front lights that work into the iconic kidney grille. It's an active grille shutter. You get the M badging. These front parking sensors are part of the Park Assist package, which also gives us this 360-degree reverse camera. The suspension has been reworked. It's gonna have a more aggressive steering with a lower center of gravity. And last year, that 48-volt mild hybrid system was updated. So it gave us more torque, giving us a total output of 386 horsepower and 398 pound-feet of torque out of the BMW 3.0-liter twin-power turbocharged engine. Now, what's unique about this is when you're putting it against rivals like Mercedes or Audi, they're going to have more horsepower and torque, but this is going to be faster on a 0 to 60 at 4.4 seconds. That's what BMW's quoting. I'm sure you could get a few tenths of a second quicker with the top speed at 130 to 155 miles per hour. With a 225/40/19 up front and a 255/35/19 out back. The M Sport Pro package adds those red brake calipers housing 4 pistons in the front, a single floating caliper in the rear, M Sport rear differential, M side view mirrors, and that's all achieving 27 mpgs for the city, 34 mpgs for the highway, paired to the 8-speed Steptronic automatic transmission. Taking me to the first reason why you may want to consider this is it is the best in class compared to all of the German rivals. Now, if you scale it down to something like Genesis, that's going to have a ton of power, but it's still not quite the same as this. That's why this becomes the sweet spot. But then, is it worth it at a $70,000 price? You could take some of the features off. We have the driver assist package, which adds the 360-degree reverse camera, front parking sensors. I would tick the box to that. We have the Shadowline package that's going to give us that exterior styling. I probably would tick the box to that, and as well as those M Sport Pro package, so we get the red brake calipers in the upgraded M rear differential. Now, the rear, it's not going to look as aggressive with these dual exhaust setup in the diffuser, but you have the vertical vents right here. Kind of wish it was functional, because then it would just make it look a lot more aggressive, because this is the M440i. Weight distribution, 52.3, 46.8 for the rear wheel drive configuration. The X drive will go to a 54.3, 45.7, so it's going to be closer to a 50-50 weight distribution going to the rear wheel drive configuration. The rear gets the CSL LED taillights. I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, you're getting literally a 50% discount when you go M440i, because you're getting some of those aesthetics right here. Now, obviously the aero kit and the performance is night and day difference, but the sweet spot, it still ticks the box to that. But let me know your thoughts in the comments if you would go for the M440i or the competition. And that will maximize the cargo capacity to the M440i, but we need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. The key fob to the M440i. 14-way power seat adjustment for the front, heated front seats, perforated. This is Sensitech. Get the manual cushion extensions, memory for the driver, and the BMW curved panel 2-screen layout. We get the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system, plenty of leg space. You do sit downwards, but it does make it a little bit more comfortable, especially the way everything is laid out. The air vents were reworked last year, and not a fan of these type of air vents. It just feels so thin and breakable. The same thing here. You get the ambient lighting. We got the brushed aluminum on the top. Let's 'Let's 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 Heads-up display is part of the premium package, and the 2-screen layout with navigation because we have the premium package. A 14.9-inch touchscreen, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wirelessly, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. You can play your YouTube here. 5G capabilities for your Wi-Fi hotspot. When you put it into reverse, so when you go forward, click the backup assist on. Now check this feature out. I'm going to turn the steering wheel a few times, and it's reading how far I'm going. So I've gone 30 feet. Let's go like 60 feet, just for the hell of it. Check that out. We went 70 feet. Now we're gonna switch it into reverse, not touching the steering wheel at all. Look what it does. Now, I would recommend bracing the brake. Try not to go too much more than 4 miles, because once you go around 5 miles, it likes to deactivate. But it's literally going the same direction I was going, all the way to the same parking space that I was at, which is an awesome feature, and it's one of few in the automotive industry that actually works almost 100% all the time. At 10 feet, you'll hear the beep, and then it'll cut off. And now you're back exactly where you were. The steering wheel obviously isn't. We're gonna put it into park and then show you the 3D view, which you just click here. There isn't any gesture control, and you have the car wash view that'll show the trajectory for the front so you don't scratch the staggered wheel setups. You still have a physical button to turn on and off the sound system. Open this up for a wireless charging pad, 12-volt USB. This configuration to me needs to be changed because when you're driving this vehicle, it has a sport suspension. So your cups are going to go all over the place, which means you're going to spill something, whatever fluids you're drinking, on these, and you know what's going to happen. You got a rocker to put it into gear. Not a fan of that either. I wish it had a gear lever. You have to go into the M variants in order to get that. Your driving mode select right here, which you have a total of 3 different driving modes. Sport will turn it into red, Comfort, and Eco Pro will coach you on how to get better MPGs, but this is the M440i. Heads-up display, and we got the reworked steering wheel from last year. It's a flat bottom M spec, and you get the 12 o'clock. You get the vertical lines with the horizontal lines down low, multi-function with the paddle shifts, and that gauge cluster can go through an array of different content for the driver, including the turn-by-turn navigation, and you can also change the layout as well to make it a little bit more open, where you'll have that boomerang look here, and you can do the same thing for the heads-up display with the standard view, directional view, sport view, reduced view, auto-dimming rear view mirror with the home link, LED interior light with the moonroof, and checking out that space with another occupant, you can see you have plenty of legroom, and headroom is also pretty good. Door panel and dash, it configures in together nicely with that Harman Kardon that just brushes into the dashboard. The satin aluminum here, one touch up and down for the windows, and a long storage pocket with the beverage holder carved out. And when you close the door, the seatbelt will index, so it'll make it easier for you. This is gonna be sporty, and it opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket with a USB charger. For the back seats, pull this lever here. Now it will electronically move forward. I get it, you got $70,000, so let's just wait. It's not a big deal for me. Oh, it stopped. Now we can get inside to fit 2 more occupants. You got a sleeve of storage here, and it actually goes back pretty deep, about a hand. You got a little area for your armrest. Cup holders, not a huge fan of this. As you're seeing, I can't even open it. It's already broken. That's why I don't like it. Air vents here. And check out the leg space with no storage beyond any of the front seats. It will stop and index. So this is one thing that I like about BMW opposed to other vehicles. So you see how it stopped? I actually got almost some leg space there. And check out the headroom. I actually can fit in the back seat. I'm at 6'3". The M440i, you're gonna have more torque than Mercedes. You're gonna have more horsepower than Audi, and that's giving us a combined of 386 horsepower with 398 pound-feet of torque, reaching 60. BMW is quoting at 4.6 seconds. Now, if you get the xDrive, that'll drop to 4.2 seconds with a top speed between 130 and 155 miles per hour. Now, with these specs, I'm sure you could get faster, 0 to 60s, but like I was saying on the exterior, a few tenths of a second, it's not going to change the ball game when you're going light to light. You're more than likely not going to take this onto the track unless you take this to a motorsport so you can tune it to get more horsepower out of the engine. But then even with the extra performance, I mean, you might as well start looking at an M variant if you're going to go that route. Going to put it in a sport, give her a little go. road noise does filter in, but you get that exhaust note that also comes in when you're in sport mode. And it likes to hover around the 3 RPM without shifting, so you'll have to use the paddle shifts. And you'll still hear it even just a touch under 2 RPM. So I do like that you're gonna hear it throughout the drive, because that does help with the road noise. And then you get the burble to complete it. Now when you engage it into comfort, completely different drive. Eco Pro, now you're hearing a substantial amount of road noise. Taking me to the pros on this vehicle, I like that we got the upgraded performance, but that was from last year. The styling from the CSL, that was from last year, as well as those laser lights. But then on the cons, you still have to add packages, and this is 2026 have you, to get a 360-degree reverse camera, to get the upgraded Harman Kardon, and a heads-up display. Come on, man. This thing's already over $65,000 MSRP. Give us a few of those features standard, because we went from the 430 to the M440i. I get it, we're getting more performance. We're also getting a tuned suspension, better weight distribution. Sport mode changes the whole game. I would probably drive it in sport mode most of the time. I mean, when you're buying an M440i Coupe, you're not really expecting to get the best MPGs, and you're still getting quite a bit. I mean, 27 over 34 is pretty crazy when you're considering a sports car with a turbocharged engine, and it's an inline 6-cylinder. Maneuverability. The steering is going to be light, so not a lot of feedback. And that to me is kind of a downgrade, because when you're starting to go more into the M performance, you're wanting to feel some of that feedback in the steering wheel, especially if you hit potholes or whatnot, because it becomes such a smooth drive that you don't know that you might have a flat tire. That being said, I do like the retuned suspension that they did from last year. It is a lot smoother. It's still a rigid drive compared to most of the competition, because Audi is going to be a lot more smooth. The same thing with Mercedes. They're going to have a little bit more plush amenities in the interior. So now let's see what 386 horsepower has entailed. Definitely has the fun to drive. Maneuverability. It's gripping. Have you? This is not the X drive. The exit. And this is why I would go with the whole kit that I have here, because we're getting the brakes. You got the performance. It's a fun to drive everyday vehicle. The curvy roads is where it's at. And you have the clearance. So, I mean, this is a package all in one. All of that I just showed you is the second reason why you may want to option the M440i. I mean, a fun to drive vehicle is an understatement. You really need to test drive it yourself to see how quick you can get these speeds. Now, a disclaimer, do it at your own risk, because I ain't paying for your accident. But you get the 12 o'clock on the steering wheel, which helps if you do some dynamic driving. And realistically, when you're doing that dynamic driving, don't go to the full extent. You don't need the tires to screech. You're just trying to have some fun so you can feel the G-force in your seat. You get all of that captured, plus you could take your kids to school quickly, and you have that adrenaline instead of having to worry about having a coffee to start off your day. But taking me to some cons, all of that road noise. And it is going to be one of the more firm suspension layouts. And when you're in sport mode, it doesn't like to change the gear, which is good when you're really wanting to push it, but it tends to want to go more to 3.5 to 4 RPMs before it even engages to change the gears. The air vents, I hate how small they are. You have to literally turn it up, and then the fan speed sounds so damn loud that you wouldn't be able to hear me on the camera. I'm gonna give you an example. We're gonna just put it at high. Now this is very high, and we're gonna lower it to medium. I have to literally leave it on very low, which I'm actually sweating in the interior while I'm doing the review in order for you to hear me. Otherwise, you're gonna hear all the static coming in from that damn fan speed. They should clean that up a little bit. It just makes me feel like they said, you know what? We're gonna give you all the performance you need, but then we're gonna skip out on things that you use every single day, especially if you're in Florida. You don't need to cheap out on that. Plus on the door card, on the top part, the dash, I'm all right if you do the Sensitech, but don't do this hard plastic. It really just stresses a not expensive car. For longevity, it's great, but then you get this brushed aluminum. It should be like a carbon fiber, or at least like a fake carbon fiber just for the base trim. And I get it, I like the aluminum a little bit better, but we're going into an M Sport variant. So these are some things that I gotta pick on. The steering wheel, it's a little over the top, but I do like the grip of it and I like the shape of it too. So I'm okay with that. And the only other things that I can nitpick is you're not getting standard leather. The Sensitech seats at a $65,000 price MSRP. You're not even getting a lot of that even on the door card. It's just a lot more firm areas, especially the seat itself. Putting it back in sport, making that Chevy give itself a ride for its money. It thinks that it beat an M440i. Funny enough, I was only hitting about 3.5 RPM. So that's why I'm saying, like, it's a quick vehicle for your day in and day out chores. It's a fun vehicle. Taking me to the final reason why you may want to consider it. Even with these upgrades, we just touch over 70 grand. Now I know that's a lot of money, but when you're comparing it against the competition, their features are going to cost more money, and you're going to end up paying more money to get a vehicle that's not going to be faster. So it wouldn't make sense to go to those vehicles when you get all of that here. Putting it back into Sport Plus. You guys already saw the braking. Turn radius, more or less the stop point. It's about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. Let's slow down so we don't get a speeding ticket. It's just such a fun vehicle. I mean, when you put all of this, considering that BMW cares about the geometry of the vehicle, they care about the performance of the vehicle, you get enough technology in the interior. There is some components that make it a little bit more stiff and rigid in the interior, but overall, it is an awesome vehicle. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.